Michigan City Tree Board meeting for March 3rd, 2021. I can't believe it's already March, everybody. Welcome. Can we get a roll call?
Barb Gitzer, here. Laura Henderson, here. Laura Koch,
Present.
Tim Warner,
Present.
Mick Wolf, absent. Talia Zegas, present. Okay, we have a quorum.
All right. Well, again, I'd like to apologize for missing the last meeting. And as I head down to where we usually do approval of minutes, I think that brings up a subject that I don't know if you guys discussed last meeting. And that is the review of the minutes and how we are supposed to proceed with that, given the new recording situation. So will we need to, I guess, Dahlia, I don't know if you know, are there other, the other meetings where there's not a regular secretary present, a recording secretary, are they reviewing the video and confirming the minutes on that, or how is that working?
I really don't know, but I think it just depends on your comfort level.
Yeah.
If you take notes while you're doing it, that's fine. And if you want to watch the video again, that would be fine. And it doesn't have to be super word for word, but I think just like the topical discussion, what happened, summarizing, what went on. I think that's enough because you haven't been giving further guidance, correct?
Yeah, we have not been given further guidance. And, respectfully, I know Laura's in secretary position, but, I do not expect all the details and all of the letterhead that Debbie had given us prior. That was a lot of work. So we're making sure that we're proceeding in the right fashion. I think that's something that I'm going to have to contact the city about, and making sure that we are going to be proceeding with the meetings in the correct fashion, and that everything is done accordingly. Of course, the videos are wonderful because that is what it is, but the word for word, having that typed up, getting it approved by everybody, it's a bigger process. It takes a lot of time.
So has the issue about having a secretary been monitored with the city, or just staff availability?
So we had a secretary that was in place for about actually 20 years, right, guys? Debbie. And they did a budget change and just let her go basically at the end of last year. So we had the first minutes written up for January from her. But she held a large part on several committees, actually, for her recording, her organization of us all, making sure we had our agenda together. Any of the minutes were reviewed and written up, and so that we could approve them. So usually our protocol at the meetings are that we go through that process, and our next line would have been approval of minutes. And my expectations from Laura Henderson are not going to be on the level of what Debbie did, because she did a lot. And she had that letterhead from the city too that had everything on it, So as we move forward, when they changed that situation and they changed the secretary situation to the fact that we don't have one, they didn't really give us guidance of what they request from us at that time. So who in particular should we contact to maybe talk about that? What do you think, Dahlia?
So let me, first of all, I'll tell you, I was on 2 commissions before that did not have a secretary that was paid.
Okay. What did you guys do?
I mean, basically, you have to split up between the president and the secretary. You just need to write an agenda and send it off at least 48 hours in advance to the clerk so that she can make public notice. Of course, there's a step now to get the Zoom link if we're doing Zoom.
Yeah.
And then, by the time the meeting comes around, the minutes should be written. And again, it's like a summary. It doesn't have to be word for word or anything like that. And, we read them over and then we approved them. So it was a volunteer thing on the 2 commissions I was on.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think, the clerk, Gail, would probably be the most helpful.
Mm-hmm.
But, I think Debbie did a lot, and maybe we just need to do, minutes, agenda,
Yeah.
invite everyone to the meeting,
Yeah,
that's.
absolutely. Okay. I'll be touching base with, Gail, but I agree. But in minutes wise, I think we should ask Laura, I don't know, Laura Henderson, I don't know if that's something that she knew that she was signing up for when she accepted that position.
I wasn't too surprised. I do not mind doing the minutes.
Okay.
It's all the other things that I don't really have access or know how to do. So
Right. Yeah.
the minutes I can
Dahlia, is there
handle.
somebody in the city that we could try to talk to see if they're available to do this for us? I mean, I don't really know what the staffing is at the city for anybody in the administration or something that could help us out. I mean, I'm willing to forgo my fee, whatever this is, and just give it to a secretary to come in and do this beyond, just our tick of minutes here. I seems like it would be much easier and simpler and better for the records, and that if we had somebody who's familiar in the city to be able to post this and do everything inside City Hall that needs to be done.
Well, I think because the council voted to eliminate the position, I don't think there's any way to reinstate that. So I'm just gonna put it that way. I was not in favor of that, but it doesn't matter, it's a vote. And I don't think there's any chance of anything to change until maybe next budgetary hearing. So when they do the budget in the fall, maybe, show up and just say, hey, we'd appreciate having, clerical help. It was great having clerical help. That's all I can recommend really. So I just don't think anything's going to be reversed in that way.
Dahlia, I have a couple of questions. Have you been able to talk to any of the other boards that have lost secretarial support?
They have not gotten in touch, so I have not heard really anything else. And I know some of the boards that, like I say, they don't have a paid secretary. They have done their own work, sustainability, women's commission, I know, so those I'm familiar with, and they did not have a paid secretary.
Okay, another question. What is the difference between a commission and a board?
I'm not 100% sure about that. So that's a good question, probably needs to be looked at, but I really don't know that off the top of my head at all.
Do you know which other boards lost secretarial support?
Not offhand, no.
Okay. Could it be that we are the only one?
No, there were at least a couple of other ones, but
Yeah, but
I don't want to guess which ones they were.
Yeah, it was 3 or 4, and I also don't recall exactly which ones either. But it was a handful, and I don't know how we were chosen over anything else or whatnot, but I think that's something that we need to look into, commission versus board. Also, another thing would be, if we were to, is there a spot in the budget to have another person join our board? And if so, could that person take a little of that positioning in regards to some of the clerical help? So, not only be a part of the board, but be able to possibly even help with agenda write-up and things like that.
I do believe the pay for the board has been budgeted, so whatever the number of people per number of meetings, that's budgeted. So, I guess we can ask, the controller whether there's, because of some people missing some meetings, maybe there's some I don't know. I just don't think they're gonna be paying for a secretary. I just don't think that's gonna happen.
They're not going to open it up to what it was before, for sure, but wondering, if there's, Tim mentioned, wondering if there is some way that we can help, get somebody back on board to help with that, so I think we need to make some phone calls. But I think,
Laura?
Yeah.
Would you like me to go with you when you talk to people at City Hall about this?
I would, yeah,
Okay.
because, as we head down the list of our usual agenda, things come into mind in regards to the claims. We had secretary treasurer's report, all of those financial things. That's a bigger position. You know, that's something that, Laura, we don't expect you, and wouldn't have expected you to feel that you should have known or be involved in on that level. I personally feel. So
If I do the minutes, I wonder if that kind of thing is something that the clerk's department could do.
the minutes, you mean writing
No,
them?
not the minutes.
Oh, just that part.
Other stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
All those other
That
little
comes to
things
some of
that I
the
don't know.
financials. Yeah. You know, agenda wise, I have no problem at all. That template, I'm super confident. If Mick needs help, it is usually the president and the secretary to do it. But if you guys need help, agenda wise, I've done that many, many times and I can write that up. That's no problem whatsoever. But some of that, the more, the financial parts of things that are supposed to be recorded, I just want to make sure that that's done correctly and in the right hands, respectfully. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. So it's going to be top on our list just as we get things back in a form. And like Dahlia said, with the recording, which is wonderful that we can go back and see that and have a little more access to that than we did in prior years. It does help with the minutes quite a bit. But right now, our next line, like I said, would be approval of minutes. And I have no expectations for you to have those all written up and sent out to us either, Laura. That takes a lot of time. So
Did get them right?
What did you say?
Did you get them?
I didn't get yours. Did you send them out?
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, see, you're already on it. That's really good. Yeah. And so, and was that a lot of time for you, or did you feel like that's something that you don't mind doing? Or
It's something I don't really mind doing.
wonderful. Well, good.
That does take some time, but it's okay.
Okay, and also with the agenda part of things, again, that's something I don't mind doing at all, and I can even write it up and send it to you and have new things updated on it without any issue. So it just wouldn't be on the Michigan City letterhead, but it is, say Michigan State Board. It's good, so.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Well, as we move forward, we'll skip past Secretary Treasurer's report and claims.
Okay, I did get a copy of Laura Henderson's minutes.
You did great.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Do you guys want to review any of those? I don't know why I didn't get it in my email, but I don't know if you guys had my new email. I know Debbie had it.
Oh, what is your new email, Laura? You want to send it to me later?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I'll text it to you in a few minutes. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Perfect. Well, then would you like to go ahead and do approval of minutes for who has seen them? Did everybody else get them? Wonderful.
I've not
You
seen.
didn't, Tim?
Oh. Sorry, Tim.
Tim, we'll make sure you're on it too.
Okay, well, I make a motion that we approve the minutes.
Anybody second?
I second.
I can second it, but it's not fair that maybe two people haven't read them yet, so I don't know.
Yeah. Are we okay to move on to the next meeting for approval?
Discussion moment.
Uh-huh.
As long as the minutes indicate that I was in the car and couldn't really hear anything that well and didn't have an agenda, so I really wasn't part of the meeting too much, then I'm fine with the minutes.
Well,
Okay, I will make that correction to the minutes.
Okay.
I will make that correction to the minutes.
I also wasn't at last meeting, so I can't confirm,
Right.
approval of minutes respectfully. Neither can Nick, so.
Right. Okay, well, if Laura makes the, changes to the minutes as far as that Tim was in the car, then I would say we could go ahead and approve them with that change.
I remember right a couple of times, so.
Do I have a second if that's going to move forward?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Thank you. All right. Approval of minutes complete. All right. Secretary Treasurer's report and claims. Nobody has any background information on that I know of. Okay. We'll move forward. Communications. I am aware that, and I will just, go ahead and bring this up, that we unfortunately lost our 4-star. I'm really sad to hear that, and I know it's the third one in the run, and Jessica was just amazing. She's amazing. She's she brought a lot of great energy and enthusiasm to the table, and she will surely be missed. And I know she voiced that she'd really like to still be a part of all of our tree board shenanigans, and moving forward. And she does, and she's always welcome. And we look forward to working with her on different levels. But we do want to wish her the best in her pursuit of her new endeavors. And I know that she's getting back in teaching mode and education. And we do want to wish her the best. And thank you so much for everything that she has done, because she really conquered.
Yeah.
Oh, she's wonderful. It does bring up, and I don't know if you have discussed this at last meeting, why this keeps happening. And if I haven't got to have a full in-depth conversation yet with the reasoning, besides the fact that I do know that she was just ready to work on something different in her life, okay? But, we need to be able to keep a forester, so there's a problem. There's a problem with that, and that's something that we need to talk about and work on. And so we need to figure out what else is missing and if there's any other issues of why, Yes, Tim?
Laura, have we as a board, before I had a chance to give like an exit interview with these foresters in the past as why they were departing, other than just greener forests somewhere else?
My impression is a lot of it has to do with the fact that during an earlier perceived budget crunch, they took 2 jobs and made them one. And that was Vector and Forester. They were 2 separate jobs, and they made them one. Shortly after that, we lost Frank. Then we lost, who do we have next?
I think we had Mandy next.
We did have Amanda.
Mhm.
We had Amanda, we lost her. We had Adam Garza, we lost him. And then we had Jessica, so that's 4 in a row.
There was actually one even in between, but I don't think she even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought there was more.
Yeah, there was one, Melissa or something, right in between Adam and Jessica, but she really didn't.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
was very brief.
Yeah. And I think it had to do a loss in her family and whatnot. But, respectfully, it is because it's a shared, it's a definite 2-position job.
Yeah.
The vector control on its own is
It's a full-time job.
basically a full-time job. It's a part of my job that I do on a regular basis and takes a lot of time in my own business. And I don't know how she could do all of it, to be honest. And that's been voiced, or any of them, if you want.
And a forester should be a full-time job too.
It should absolutely be. And to have those things shared, and then also to have those things shared and not have a backing of support in regards to a large enough team to do all of those things was another issue, unfortunately. And that's hard to find, respectfully, a maintenance crew and to keep that going. And they have a handful of people to conquer an entire city. And so, that right there is a big issue. And it might be something for consideration, for the city to sub out, and which they've been doing in different ways on different levels with some of that vector control content, but that it still is 2 positions to even balance and to really make sure all of that goes as it should. So,
how many staff did she have working with her as both her control agent and forester?
wasn't it 5 to 7 actual maintenance people? Isn't that true, guys?
I don't remember the number.
It was, I believe it was 5
I
to 7.
think it was something like that.
Yeah,
But a lot of them came and went.
a lot of them did. It's
So they,
hard to hold people in that position, and it's hard. It's a very labor-intensive job. I run a garden center, and 5 to 7 is not enough for me to even run a maintenance crew for general people, nonetheless a city. You know what I mean? To conquer as much. So it needs to be reassessed, and it does. And I know that the city is very aware of that issue. How important they feel it is, I'm unsure, and I think that that's something that we need to make our presence at the meetings and vocalize more. That separation needs to be done. And if there is a change in the budget, I respect a change in the budget and savings if they will go more towards the support of those other things that really, really needed to show a change in the city. In vector control and forestry, those are really big positions that do, okay? So if we really, for instance, had to cut, I believe somebody told me it was about, 10 grand out or whatnot, for certain secretarial and different levels, or certain things, then even that amount should go towards this type of issue to keep it rolling and to keep it going and to keep it balanced. We need to make our position here as a board, the Michigan City Tree Board, is to educate the public, and but it's this is a huge part of it. Our forester is a huge part of it, and keeping the city a tree city and keeping the city green and all of that is a huge part of all of this altogether. So this is a part. We are a part of the support of this, the ongoing support of the direction of it, the positive direction of it, and we need to have our voices heard in that, to help guide the importance of that. So we need to be showing up at the meetings and maybe voicing more and writing some letters. Because for this to happen on such a reoccurring occasion over these years is really, it's actually sad. Frankly, a little embarrassing.
Yeah.
What is going on? And all these people are wonderful. In fact, as we move forward in the meeting, I'll talk about Amanda Glanz, that had been a previous forester of ours, and she's just wonderful. And I talked to her on the phone actually today, and so we'll talk about that as we move forward too. As we move forward as a board, I know that it can be difficult when things like this happen and there's changes, and the world is changing though too, so I understand that as well. As we're going to have to be ready for that and on our toes about that kind of stuff. But there are things that we can hold the reins on and help guide and help make more of a positive situation here. Okay, so those things we really need to focus on as we move forward. Does anybody have any other comments about Jessica moving forward or that position?
Is the city actively seeking a replacement?
This is a conversation. Well, I actually talked with Nick on the phone for just a couple minutes earlier, and it's a conversation that I didn't get an update on quite yet. So I don't know he's gonna call me tomorrow and, give me some updates on the conversations that he's had about that. Of course, they are putting themselves out there for it, but I haven't heard of anything in regards to a new interview or anything like that or a new positioning at this time. And, and that's just because I don't have the newest update for this month. So the minute I do, I will keep you all in the loop. Anybody else? I think we'll move forward from, unless there's any other kind of communications. Committee reports. This will bring us up to a couple of different things that we've been active on. Education, gardening and landscaping, monthly news and tips, public relations, calendar events, and Arbor Day. These are big things that we, again, can focus on and make sure that we move forward on and, show some positive output why we're here. I know that Jessica had lined up some trees for us. Usually when they arrive into the city, they'll usually end up at our garden center, and we keep them in a good place so they're ready for you guys for the giveaway. So I'll have to find out where they're coming in and when they're coming in for those Arbor Day trees. And, but we need to possibly even talk with the library if we want to do the drive-through, tree giveaway. If we still want to do it the first weekend of May, is that still something that you guys are interested in being a part of, whoever does want to be involved?
Yeah, when it was done last time, it was done in the back of City Hall,
Okay.
and Barb was there.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica has also expressed an interest in participating in that again today.
Great.
And I think she really wants to go pick up the trees. But she did send me the receipt, so I could go pick up the trees. Or somebody else could go pick up the trees. But I think she wants to go pick up the trees. And she would do that just a few days before May 1st.
Okay. She's picking them up from the supplier?
I think,
Or
yeah, from Jasper Pulaski.
Okay.
Well, if that doesn't come through, Jessica can't do it, I offer I could do it. I've got the pickup truck, so I can run down and pick them up too. So just
Okay,
put
awesome.
that in your side pocket there in case Jessica
Okay.
feels she can't.
All right. Yes, and like I said, I'm always willing, to have them and store them until it's time. We've got the space at the garden center for it too. Okay, guys? Either way, however it works out, okay? And do we need any other type of approval to do the city hall situation? We were kind of waiting to see if they are going to be doing any farmers market openings. And I don't know if that's going to happen with everything going on. I don't foresee that. Yeah. At this time, if it does pop up, we will make the announcement. But I will absolutely be involved in, the tree giveaway. I'll be there. I did, like I said, talk to Amanda Glanz, and she said hi to everybody, some of you guys she's met, some of you she hasn't. She was wonderful. She was, our forester for a while there, and just wonderful ideas and really motivated. And she's a part of a new program that really highlights invasive plants and helps educate people about that. And also about solutions of plants and trees that can be planted instead that would be a native alternative. And she said that she would love to, if the date works out, be a part of, our giveaway kind of layout, if it works out in regards to the way we're doing things, and give away some information about that. And if the date doesn't work out, she's got pamphlets and things like that she wants to know that she has for us, and she'd like to, give to us to help educate people about that kind of stuff too. So that's
So who exactly is she working for these days? Is it still Arbormetrics?
Yeah, I've got it right over here. Hold on. I was just talking to her earlier today. So she is, and I have a website that I can send you guys to. So it's SICIM. And it's a cooperative invasive species management area acknowledgement. There's an area that she also works in called PLANT. It's Porter LaPorte Advancing Natives Team. So she works in a couple of different areas there, and has a lot of information that she can hand out to us just to kind of educate everybody about that. Invasive species, it's a big deal. There's some things that are kind of taking over areas and people aren't even aware of them. And, where certain places know that you're not supposed to sell them, some still do. And she's, getting herself out there to make it known and make those plants known and make alternatives known as well. So if that's something that you guys would like for her, if we feel it would make sense at that, she would love to be a part of it, or even those pamphlets to hand out when we're just handing a tree out, just to give people that information. She would love to supply that for us if we think that that's the best solution. Because I kind of said, hey, this is kind of a weird time and we're not sure how we're going to move forward on it. And that she wants to know that she's, here for us and would love to be a part of our team with helping educate, if we have any things come up like that. So is that something that you would like?
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, sounds good to me too. She would, hand out the pamphlets and.
Yeah. She'd love to even be there if it works out, so, and if not, like I said, that she'll supply all those and we can just package them up with the trees and send them on out with everybody. And, but I think it's a very, very important thing, part of our educational part of things too. So I think it all wraps in nicely together.
Do we need a motion or anything to have Laura talk to Amanda? If so, I move that Laura talks to Amanda to get these pamphlets and be ready to hand out at our Arbor Day tree handout.
I second.
All right, I will do so. All approved?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Let's see here. Any other type of public relations or calendar events that anybody wants to talk about, or any gardening and landscaping? At this time, I just want to remind people we are heading quickly into spring, and a reminder again, and we talked, the last meeting I was at about tree trimming and the safe time to tree trim, and how that window is getting shorter and shorter, especially with specific trees. I always like to highlight those oaks. If you can get your tree people out there right now, there's a beautiful melt off. You want to take advantage of getting your certified, insured tree guides out there to take care of your trimming and any type of limb removal, any type of dead wooding. This is a wonderful time to do it. It's a safe time. As we head into April, we're finding that it is warming up more and more. And you're finding not only are fungal issues starting to pick up a little quicker, but so are insect issues and insect infestations. And so you want to be really careful about that. So as much as you can, especially with the oaks and some of these specific other trees that are a little more susceptible to insect and fungal issues, get them trimmed during this time while it's still a little bit cooler. As you head through the season, there are other trees that can be trimmed at different times, but to be aware that especially with the oak species, that you want to do more of a winter, early spring pruning for that. So now's the time as a reminder. A lot of things come up right now about insects too, and was our winter cold enough, to freeze all those off? And they say it was a pretty deep freeze, but it wasn't a long standing one. We had a lot of snow, but not a long standing, freeze off in regards to the longevity that it usually takes to do that. So we may be seeing some insect issues pop up, and I think people need to be aware of that. And there's very, very safe ways to protect your plants and your trees. And if there are things that are constantly getting issues, ahead of time, there's trenches that are out there that really you can put in ahead of time into the system of the plant, and it'll take it up through the roots and protect it as they start to spring out with their new leaves and new foliage for your main season and during the main hatching season too. So those things you want to really watch out for, products containing imidacloprid, and fertilize your plants. It protects them more. Keeping them well watered and taken care of is a big deal. So just a reminder of all those things. Does anybody else have anything else they want to highlight?
Laura, I just like to just ask, the city on the eMichigan City site, they have this news and events section with talking right now. The only thing on there is a St. Patrick's Cloverleaf Lane reverse parade. I mean, is there a possibility that we as a tree board could just put a paragraph in there? All residents of Michigan City, the tree board recommends you do trimming or whatever with the registered, arborist or whatever. Does the city have any?
Yeah, they submit a licensed arborist and basically an insured arborist format on the page. But in regards to that page in particular, I think it would be great if during this time they highlighted that. So we can talk to the office and get approval and see if they can post that. I think it's a wonderful idea.
It would seem like that would be a great paragraph in there. Just say, hey, all Michigan City residents, if you're thinking about tree trimming, and that now is the time of year to do it best before the foliage comes out. So absolutely,
yeah, and it would be great to put it in at this time. And I don't think they've ever had anything in at this time for anything like that. So I think I can send an email to do so.
We should also put in about the tree giveaway.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I know that, speaking of that, I know Jessica had been working on that Facebook setup and getting approval for that setup. So I need to call her and just kind of check in on a couple of things. So I think that we should follow up about that and see if that was approved and if we can take the reins on it.
Also, Sustainability Commission does have a Facebook page.
They do.
And we could probably post with them.
Okay, and which I think we should.
Yep.
And I know that was mentioned at one of the previous meetings. I think, Dahlia, didn't you mention that? Yeah, okay, I think we should. Who do we contact to do so?
Probably Andy Johns Davis.
Okay. We got to get the word out there. Yeah. And we need to nail down, if that first weekend of May, if that is the date that we're going to do it, as we head into this next month, we need to really put it out there for everybody. Everybody gets really excited about that tree giveaway. I also have another source that's going to be touching base with me soon that may be actually donating some more trees. So I will know over this next couple of weeks what varieties will be donated, but I think we've got a nice handful extra coming our way. We just don't know what varieties they are, and I just want to get approval before I make a full debut about it. So
Is that Arbormetrics or somebody else?
it's not, it's somebody else. I'm waiting on approval first, so I'll keep you posted.
Okay.
I am waiting on NIPSCO to get back to us. You know, I know they have their hands full to see if they have a couple extra over there. So I haven't heard back from them yet. I just sent a message over to Andrea, who used to work with us. She's so wonderful, and just seeing if she knows of anybody that might have a connection to any additional ones as well, or if they want to be involved again. So we'll see. We're waiting. All right, we will move forward. Anything else in outreach?
Do this Michigan City area school and elementary schools in town do anything for Arbor Day? I know when my kids were young and in school, they had to go in the fall collect leaves and in the spring collect flowers and things and talk about trees, but that was through Marquette Elementary. I don't know if the city schools, Edgewood, Joinos do anything. I mean, that might be a possibility too, to just get some of those flyers out to the school, the teachers at least that are interested. You know, Krieger has that environmental site there close to school. They might be interested in something like that too. I do an outreach for the schools, talk to kids when they're young to appreciate trees and the flora and fauna that live around and amongst them, and that's a good outreach. I think I don't know if the tree board has ever done anything like that. If the Michigan City area schools are amenable to anything like that, but it might be worth a discussion. I could try to talk to Barbara Watkins and see where she can direct me.
Yeah, oh, please do so. We have worked in the past with some of the programs. You know, it is a different time, I know, just because a lot of the kids are doing, the school from home, but there's still a lot of outdoor, community things that they can do just in regards to education too. I remember the days of bringing the ginkgo leaf in and all of that. So we have been involved, especially the city. I know, a lot of the original foresters too, in tree plantings along with schools and things like that. But if you do want to reach out and see if there's any way that there are some of the groups, getting back out there, things are changing. They are putting more programs out there, especially the outdoor type of, situation. To be able to incorporate them and educate them would be huge. But to keep that going is a big deal, and because they're, doing a lot of the school from home right now, my concern is that that goes to the wayside, but really it hasn't, because we found this last year that people are spending more time outdoors. So there has to be a different approach that we get that out to those kids. So I think that, to brainstorm and maybe even, like you said, make some phone calls and brainstorm about how we could help do that during this time, I think it'd be a great idea,
I'll approach her and see what schools and teachers she can send me to and see where we go.
Yeah, sounds great. I did find there was a whole nother level, at the Garden Center last year of people just, and kids especially getting involved in growth and being extra interested. And we were all brought back kind of down to earth to do so, and had a little more time to do so. And I think we, you got to really take advantage of that and keep rolling with it. And that would be great. Keep us posted, okay? Anything else for outreach? All right, we will move forward. City park trees, city street trees, grant applications, purchasing and tree planting, planning department, urban forestry, tree city designation. Those are all, I know, under the forester position. So unless anybody has any comments on those right now, reports.
One thing I just wanted to quiz everyone is, at the first meeting I attended in January, there was discussions about the lights on the trees in Franklin Street downtown. and the trees have grown since that, and they need to be removed. Has that happened yet? Is that something that the forester would have taken care of, and now that that position is vacant, it's going to fall by the wayside for another year?
Probably.
That's something we probably need to figure out how to address, whether it be with central services or something, to see, or whoever used to do it, if we could at least talk to the mayor's office and talk about getting a budget for getting those lights removed so those trees don't get more damaged and growth now coming into the growing season again this spring.
I totally agree. That's a huge thing that can't even be pushed off. I wonder if it is something that she had any report on. I know that it was in motion, that they were going to be taking all those off, but I don't know about the end result of it. So is there anybody that would like to connect with the city to check in on that? Or would you guys like me to?
Dahlia, who do you think that I could talk to? I'll talk to somebody at the city. I can just go to the mayor and have the mayor direct me, or.
That would probably be best. I'm not really sure who does it. I thought they contracted it out.
Yeah, they do usually contract it out, but they were under, the meeting that we talked about, they were under discussion about, they were in the process of retreating some of those trees. But some of them, hadn't been done, or they were in the process of talking about it. And I think that's where Tim's coming from, is he's concerned that they were in the process and did that just get left hanging, so.
Well, I'm familiar with one tree in front of my business, and the lights are just laying on the ground,
Really?
not lit up, and so I don't know. So, I think maybe, I'm not sure what department, is it central services? But the mayor's office could probably direct you in the right direction.
I'll talk to Mayor Perry and see where I should go. If not, I know Mike Cuss usually gets stuff done in the sanitary district, so if worst comes to it, I'll talk to Mike and maybe one of your guys go out there and just start trimming those things off and getting them recycled or whatever. So we'll see. I'll talk to the mayor and see and report back by the next meeting.
Thanks for bringing that up, actually.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for making that effort on that too. We have any fundraising efforts anybody want to talk about at this time? Moving forward to old business, you just brought up the lights, and thanks again for making sure that, we talk with somebody about that and keep us posted. Let me know if I can be of any help, okay? Anything else in old business that you guys want to talk about? Any new business? Board member comments?
Well, we've never really approved that budget. Is there anything on that we need to do, or is it just, we just kept pulling it over till the next meeting?
I do want to say that is something that we have to, keep tabled, because I know that Mick wants to be, he wants to say something about that. And he's currently in discussion about a couple of things, so.
Okay.
Okay. Any board member comments? Any other board member comments? Happy St. Patty's coming up. I have to tell you, I'm missing the days where we were out parading, So,
That's fun.
I know. So, but happy St. Patty's, and I'll enjoy that weather. I hope it's nice this year. Any public comments out there? Our next meeting, I have to actually look this up here, would be April 7th, 2021. Was that good with everybody?
I believe so for me.
Okay. All right. Same time, same place. Any other comments? I'd like to entertain an adjournment.
I so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you so much for your time.
Be
I know we
safe,
have a lot
everybody.
ahead
Have a
of
good
us.
evening.
I know we have a lot ahead of us, guys, but we got this. We're going to get some stuff done, And we have a lot to discuss at the next meeting, so
Yeah.
I'll keep you posted what I find out about trees, because I know we'll need to keep that in motion.
And I'll find out what I can with schools and the mayor, and tree lights, so thanks.
Great, thanks guys, have a good one.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.